We all know that in every business you need repeat customers. Repeat customers are obviously better because you don't have to find them, they're easier to sell to, and they tend to spend more money. But just how do you get these customers to keep coming back to you? These are a few ways I found to bring your customers coming back and back again for your product or service. The first one is you have to have great customer service. Now, if you're in an industry like mine, in a service-based industry, customer service is so important because if you're in any kind of construction industry, I've had people come to me and they've said, I've been working on my house, I've been remodeling my basement, and I wanted this guy to come and work for me, and he doesn't show up. And it boggles my mind because these people, from the customer's point of view, these people, all they expect is for you, the contractor, to show up, do your job, and they want to give you money. So from their mind, they don't understand why they're not showing up. But this happens so often where people don't come to the job. They just don't show up. And so that is one small thing that is so big. If you text your customers and you call them, you keep them informed, and you actually show up to do your job, that's going to do wonders for you. Now, obviously, there's a few other things you can do as well. Call your customer by name. There's something in the human, I don't know, psychology or whatever, but when we hear our names called, we like it so much more than just, something else. And if you don't want to use their name, or if you feel like using it too much, you can use something like sir or ma'am. That's a little more formal and it makes them feel respected. Another key thing is you might think that good experiences are helpful, and that's very true, but another thing to keep in mind is that bad experiences are terrible. Bad experiences will doom your customer interaction and they'll never come back ever again. And part of this is because from the consumer point of view, we expect our contractor, whoever, to do the job. And so when they do a good job, that's what we expected. We don't think very much of it. But if they do a bad job, then we're in huge trouble. I learned this lesson when I was doing landscaping. I spent a day planting trees all over this HOA, this condo complex, and no one said a thing, but one of the trees fell out in a windstorm the next day, and suddenly, boom, my phone was lighting up with phone calls, text messages, and all of that stuff, and all these people were complaining, but no one said a thing when a dozen trees got planted. And so we as human beings, we don't notice when things go right, but we tend to notice more so when things go bad. So more important than just having good experiences with or customer service experiences is avoiding the bad experiences, because those bad experiences are what will make them avoid you like the plague. So you want to avoid those, and you have to, instead of just having a good customer service interaction, you have to have a great customer service interaction, because you have to go above and beyond what they expect, because if you meet their expectations, that just puts you at a plain level field, and you have to exceed that. One way to go up above and beyond and exceed your customers' expectations is to capitalize on their mistakes. Now, if you're in the event where the customer screwed something up and they know it's their fault, now they're probably just expecting you to say, well, you see, you picked the wrong color, now we can't paint the house, yada, yada, yada. But if you say instead, well, there was a misunderstanding, and you alleviate this embarrassment that they might have, and you make them feel better about the situation, say, oh yeah, we can resolve that, that is going to not only meet their expectations, it's going to exceed it, because you're making them feel better about it, and then they'll be more likely to come back to you because you're doing them a huge favor. You really need to remember how you feel as a consumer or the customer when you go to these other businesses, or when someone comes to your house to work on it, your plumber, your carpet cleaner, or whoever. These people, you need to think about how you feel in these situations, and things that you do like that they do, or things that they don't like. Do you like that they text you a reminder beforehand? Do you not like that they show up late? Do you not like that they're constantly talking to you? Or do you not like that they don't talk enough? Just go through your mind and just think of the last, and this isn't limited to people coming to your house or contractors or whatever. This is limited, this is unlimited. It goes into every field. So if you're at the stores, whatever customer service thing you have. Another way to get your customers to come back to you is to have a loyalty program. Now, there's a lot of different ways to have a loyalty program, and there's a lot of wrong ways to do it, and there's a few right ways to do it. So let's get into it. Your loyalty program is going to depend on the type of business you have. So I'm in the auto detailing business, and that is more of a luxury. And so this is a great industry to have a loyalty program, because I reward people, for spending money or whatever. Now, if you're, say, a plumber or an electrician or a locksmith, and you're called to people when they're in an emergency, they need a plumber now, or they need to get their keys out of their car or whatever, those people are less likely to be loyal to you, because they're just going to go with whoever can get there the fastest. If someone has a flat tire and they need you, if you're 2 hours out, they're going to pick the guy who's 30 minutes out, right? And so, but in that case, what I would recommend, if you're in more of a necessity business, then I would recommend giving them, like the fridge magnet so that they know who to call when the plumbing line breaks or whatever, or when something's clogged, or when you have an electrical problem, they have your electrician's magnet stuck on the fridge, or a calendar or something like that. That is another way to get them to call you back. But how do you have a loyalty program? The first thing you need to do is identify your reward. There's a few different kinds of rewards that you can give. The first one is, most obvious, is a discount. Or you could also give an extra service, use a better material or better product, or just some upgrade of some sort, right? So you're gonna have to identify what is best for you in your business. Once you identify what the reward is, you have to identify what behavior you want to reward. So let's say for most loyalty programs, it tends to go something like this: spend X amount of dollars, get Y amount of dollars off your next product or service. But there's a few different things. You could reward: 1, spending money, like we just said; 2, leaving a review; 3, referring a friend; or 5, buying during your slow season or something like that. So there's a few different things. You want to find your reward and your behavior that you're rewarding, match the two, and that's your loyalty program. Now there's a few different ways to actually implement this. It is very important that your loyalty program is convenient, because if they have to, go through and scan receipts or something, they're not going to be very interested. So it has to be as convenient as possible for the customer. One of my favorite loyalty programs that I use as a consumer is Cafe Real. They have a great thing. Every time I order, I scan my receipt, which normally is not inconvenient because I have it right there. Or if I order online, it does it automatically, which is very convenient. And then I get $10 off every $100 that I spend, which is great, and I love it. But it's very convenient for me. There's also another store that I go to occasionally for detailing stuff, and I put my phone number in at checkout, and then I get points, and then they have little rewards lined up, and you can spend your points for a variety of different rewards. So that's one thing. So there's an app called the Candy Bar app, and what this app does is it basically takes your customer's phone number and it tracks their points and how much money they spend. And so that's a way of doing that. So if you use a CRM or something like Square or QuickBooks to make sales in your business, just make sure you have your customer's phone number, and then there are ways you can set this up so it flows very smoothly. It might take a little getting used to, but you can have it flow very smoothly and organized, and so that you can get this loyalty program to get your customers coming back to you. There's another one called Loop Loyalty, which is for Google or Apple Wallet, or Apple Wallet or Google Pay, whatever they're called. And that's another one you can look into for your business. There are different kinds of programs though. There's the first one which we talked about, which was spend X, save Y. And so you can do a premium membership where people pay a fee to become a premium member, and then they get discounts or stuff like that. There's a subscription plan where they subscribe to your product or service on a regular basis. And there's a tier program, so you can say we have the gold, silver, and bronze packages or whatever. And then you can but there's a lot of different options and varieties. Find what works best for you. Now, if you make a loyalty program and you find it's not happening much, you got to mix it up. Maybe you're rewarding the wrong kind of behavior, or the reward you're offering isn't appealing to them. So you got to mix it up a little bit. There's a lot of different variations on the ways you could do it. You just got to make sure to mix it up. Mix it up until you find one that works. Once you have a loyalty program that is gaining some traction, you want to promote it like crazy. Spend your advertisement, your marketing budget on it, and push it out to all your customers, and just be very loud about it so people know about it. I should add, if any of this sounds like it will be helpful to you and your business, feel free to like this video and subscribe so that more people around can see this kind of stuff. Also, if you have any other video suggestions for me, please drop a comment below on what kind of video you'd like to see, and I'd be happy to help you out and make that. Another way to get customers to keep coming back to you is through email marketing. Now, if you have your customers sign up, you take their name, depending on your business, name, phone number, email address, that kind of stuff. What you can do is send out text messages, and you always want to get their permission, because you don't want to be a pest to people. You don't want to be bothering them. So you want to get their permission first, or just even have something at the bottom that says, we will do this. And then send out emails or texts to your email or text list that have sales or offers. And then that's another way to get people to get in front of people's eyeballs so that they will come back to you. Another good idea, though, is to ask your customers for feedback. And the reason this is important is because, one, you get feedback from customers, and that helps you learn to grow and become a better businessman or customer service guy or whatever. But two, this is a step and an additional interaction between the customer and the contractor or whoever you are, and this helps build your relationship. So think, if for each interaction you have, you're relationship grows a little bit. Now, if someone says, I need to get my carpets clean again, should I call Joe, who I know at least a little bit, or should I find a new guy? They're probably going to go with Joe unless Joe did something bad to make them upset. So that goes back to what we said earlier. Avoid those bad experiences and ask for feedback because it's just an extra sneaky thing you can do to keep on building that relationship. If you have Facebook or Instagram or other social media pages for your business, it is also important to share good customer experiences. So whether that's through just sharing a review that someone left you or whatever it is, share that customer experience so that other customers, you're once again getting in front of their eyeballs so that the next time they have that need, they'll know who to call. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Here's just a few ideas that I've come up with on how to get customers to come back because it obviously is very important. Thanks for watching.